Well, welcome to another edition of Suzy's Las Vegas. Today with me, I have a very special guest. His name is Teddy Kaye, and we're going to catch up on old times. I'll probably date myself by some of the stuff we're going to talk about now, but I'm really happy to have him on. And Teddy is here, and we're going to start talking here. Teddy?
Hi, Suzy.
Hi.
I hope you've been well.
I have.
Really good, dear.
Yeah.
I'm here to answer any of your questions, of course. So.
Okay. Well, we want to talk about your life.
Well, I was born into a loving, caring family, a large Greek Italian family from the south side of Chicago. I've been very blessed with my family. And
are they all still alive, or?
Well, my mom passed away 5 weeks before her 99th birthday.
Oh no.
And my dad passed away quite a while back in '84. He was only 62 years old, but he passed away from lung cancer.
Wow.
Which kind of like inspired me not to smoke. I didn't even drink that much when I was a kid and all that. So.
Yeah.
And it was rough working in the music business all my life. You had to stay away from those bad influences. But I have been blessed with the family and the education I received. And I was born in Chinatown in Chicago on the south side. We lived in Bridgeport. East 69th Street was a wonderful education. It was multi-ethnic, multi-racial. And I learned a lot of values about people from that. In fact, I was responsible for my very first job. They had a cappella groups on the corners.
They did?
Oh, yeah. Mostly,
you mean like Frankie Valli and...
Yeah. Well, it was mostly, it was like black, Mexican, Irish, and Italian.
Okay.
And I used to go down there and sing with them, and this one fellow that was like 10, 12 years older than I am anyway, named Oscar Lindsay, I joined them for a while, his trio, the Oscar Lindsay Trio. And back then, if you weren't a Billie Holiday or a Nat Cole or somebody like that, you couldn't play the white clubs, in the outlying white neighborhoods.
You couldn't?
No, I mean, you had to have somebody like me, to like lead them into that.
Sure.
I remember I had a kid that I became very good friends with. He was an exceptionally very dark black kid, and adults used to make fun of him because of that. So we became very good friends. And later on, when we grew up, I still know him today. I used to invite him to my gigs on the south side or whatever I was playing.
Sure.
And I made sure that nobody ever bothered him. He used to bring his girlfriend. He said, "Leave that kid alone. He's with me." But we had a lot of fun, and I did introduce them into some of the better clubs on the northwest side, actually. But after that, I joined my band, The Fortunes, about 1960, 61. 62, something like that.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago, right, yeah. I've never dyed my hair, by the way.
See, that's a testament.
But I've been very lucky with the people that I've worked with. I've known an awful lot of celebrities, but celebrities to me that have reached that peak of that pinnacle of success.
Sure.
It's the person behind the celebrity that has always been, going. I mean, mentioning, dropping names like whoever they might. Alice Cooper, I used to go golfing. Steve Rossi was a good friend, and
I miss Steve Rossi, don't you?
Oh, I love him.
He
I
was
absolutely
awesome.
adored him.
Yeah.
I really did. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then at Nelson, we have to say hi to Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson. Oh, I've loved and admired him for many, many years.
You were just the headliner at his last Fiore, weren't you?
This last month, on October 10th, I did the entertainment. I was featured as entertainer, and it was a lot of fun to do that. I only did about 4 songs, and actually, I had a show already set for the tracks that I had.
Yeah.
So without rehearsal, I worked with the band because they couldn't get the hookups for the tracks.
Yeah.
It was again, I'm dated with my equipment.
Yeah.
Because I've been retired now. I've been out of it now for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And after this coming operation, which I hope would be before the end of the year, but most likely after the first of the year, I'll get this back operation. shoulder operation, and I should be dancing in the streets. I hope to be. So I've been singing a little bit at home, trying to rehearse a little bit, and
Oh, good.
getting the words back into the songs and all that. So,
Yeah.
but I've had a good run. I worked all over the world.
Yeah.
I've had quite a bit of experience in Europe, in England, Germany, and Italy primarily. And
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I love England, Germany, and Italy. I spend a lot of time in Europe.
Oh, that's good. They treated me very kindly.
Yes.
And in the East, I went back after the military. I was stationed in Vietnam for the 67, 68. I was there 2 extra months.
Wow. Thank you for your
the
service.
Thank you very much, Suzy. I was with the combat unit, kind of like the Minutemen of the Revolutionary War.
Sure.
Wherever the trouble was, that's where we had to go night or day. It didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
We supported a lot of big units like the 82nd Airborne and the Big Red One and 7th Cavalry and people like
Wow.
that. But I'm very fortunate to have come back, and I will say this: all of the heroes, they didn't come back. I was a good soldier. I did what I had to do, but the ones that are still there are the ones that we should remember and remind ourselves
absolutely.
of all the time, really.
Yeah.
Including the 9/11 people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something that we should never forget. But after the military, I went back to Chicago, and I came out here to Las Vegas in 1970.
Okay. I was going to ask you when you came. I knew
Yeah, I
it
was here in 1970. I was only here for 4 months.
Yeah.
My dad got very ill in Chicago during the time I was here, and I had to go back home to take care of my family. But I did a couple of weeks at the Sands Hotel. I remember it for happy hour. I worked at the Royal Inn, which I believe was owned by Debbie Reynolds at the time. I believe, can't remember.
Okay.
And also the Stardust. The Stardust, yeah, I worked at the Stardust, but they were just short times. And for a place called that was Debbie Reynolds' place, the Royal Inn.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah. And I worked with a band from San Francisco. I was kind of like a fill-in because the guy was getting surgery at the time.
Uh-huh.
So the classic rock that was then is the classic rock of today. So I was doing it when they were new.
What's old is new again.
Well, that's right, exactly. But,
Wow.
Singapore, Japan, those are all places that I touched upon on the globe. And I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very happy that I did.
How long did you spend in Singapore? And
I worked, believe it or not, it was
were you with the Raffles?
No, it was a local Chinese workforce. All the blue collar workers, what do they call those guys that they build things? I forgot what they call them. Contractors, things like that.
Absolutely.
And this was all I had to do was, like I had to do in Europe in one gig, I had to do Frank, Engelbert, Tom Jones, and Elvis. That's all. That was my responsibility to do that. So I was glad doing that. But when I came back to the States, I didn't go to college right away after the VA, but I did go several years later from the result of having a very wonderful girlfriend who turned into my fiancée. But she wanted me to quit singing, actually, and go back to school and all that. So I did, and I got a degree from Northwestern University in 1978 with the grace of the GI Bill at the time. They helped me pay for that.
Well, that's wonderful.
I wanted to go for my master's, so my first semester for my master's was at DePaul, and at that time, Gail had got an affliction of a cancer, so she actually passed away before we went to the altar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That kind of set me back. So when I quit the DePaul thing for my master's, and a guy offered me a job in London, England, so I took it. I was there for about 5 months, and that was part of my grieving process.
Sure.
And from there, I came back, and it was either Las Vegas or Fort Lauderdale, where I had a wonderful uncle and family there. And so I moved to Fort Lauderdale for 19 years. And I worked at a great hotel, which is the Sheraton Yankee Clipper. It was right on the sand.
I know that place.
East of A1A. It was right on the beach.
Yeah.
I worked there for almost 16 years.
Yeah.
And I was a bartender and a singer there.
So you did both.
I did both.
Yeah.
I was tended bar Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yeah.
With the 27 hours minimum that I needed for benefits, so that's why I did that.
Sure.
And then the rest of the week I worked at the hotel and places like the Embassy Suites and Marriott's and a few other places along Delray Beach and Palm Beach, all those areas out there.
So you spent a lot of time in Florida, didn't you?
I spent 19 years. I spent a lot
Yeah.
of time in South Florida. Some of my very best friends have moved from there, but
Yeah.
they're still around. You know, they're
Yeah.
various places. Some moved back to Boston, mostly
Yeah.
from Boston and New York, where my
Sure.
friends out there. You know.
Yep.
And with the spring break being what it was, we had a ball.
I'll bet you did. Well, when did you come back to Las Vegas?
Las
then?
Vegas was
Permanently.
the last month of 1997, after Christmas.
Okay.
That right after Christmas, for the first year I moved here.
Yeah.
So you can say from 1998 on, actually.
Yeah.
I did during my time in Florida. I took some sabbaticals during the summer because it was low maintenance and all.
Sure. Yeah.
People weren't as much as there as they were during the other times. So I went to Europe. I sang in Europe and had a lot of friends over there. Still do. You
Yeah.
know, I don't get to talk to them too much anymore, but they're there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I moved here from 1998 till now. So
Yeah.
that's what, about 25, 27 years or
Yeah.
26 years, yeah.
Quite a long time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the first 10 years I was active at the Monte Carlo. I sang a lot of convention type stuff at Caesar's Palace. Well, they were starting to tear down the the old hotels as they went along. So
Right.
mostly I worked at those places that were, you know, the Tropicana. Did some work at the Tropicana, the Riviera before it went, you know, and places like that. But the last 10, 15 years here, I did strictly, you know, Florida, Chicago with conventions, Southern California, Newport Beach, things like that. And then about 10 years or so, 5 years or so, I started to ache and pain and all that. So
So you just
I started-
kind of retired.
Retired in a way.
Yeah.
I would go in and sit in with people, although I don't like to really do
No.
the open mic thing. You know,
No.
they don't know your songs or keys or anything.
Right.
But so you have to do what they know, and that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of wonderful musicians.
Yeah. Well,
But
you know, we have something here. I believe Rick has it. It's, what is the song?
So in the wee small hours of the morning. I remember.
Yes, yes. So maybe we can get him to play that.
That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite tunes from the album of A Tribute to the Master.
Yeah,
All Frank Sinatra songs.
there it is.
That's not it.
Yeah.
It's 2:45.
Oh, that's a different one.
There's no one in the place except you and me. So set him up, Joe. I got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode.
So
Make it one for my baby,
and one
more for the road.
Johnny Mercer tune. Love that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. Brings back memories, doesn't
Brings
it?
back memories. A lot of songs. As a matter of fact,
I used to love to go listen to you sing.
that
Teddy.
was at
Yeah.
Ferraro's. I think I was
Yeah,
working for Ferraro's
yeah,
at the time.
Yep.
It was a wonderful place to work. Gino treated me very
Yeah.
well, and
And his
then
food was
came
awesome, too.
The 9/11 came, and it kind of put a hold on things, and then later
Sure.
on, the COVID put a hold. And I was hoping that post-COVID, Las Vegas would enjoy some sort of like an entertainment renaissance. You know, they
Right.
would bring back into smaller clubs. What we've lost pretty much in Las Vegas
Right,
from the old days is
Yeah.
what I call marquee power.
right.
You can advertise on the internet You can do as much, emails and all this kind of stuff you can, but there's nothing greater than having your name on a billboard
Oh, absolutely.
for people, for the tourists
Well,
to come
sure,
back
so
and
they
stuff,
know
because they
it's
know
you.
where to go, what places are.
That's right.
Pretty much the strip, I believe today, is just concentrating on the main rooms.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that by now, more of the restaurants that are especially trying to recover their losses from COVID, that are charging more money, would include some sort of entertainment.
Right.
I think that would
Absolutely.
be appropriate. But
Yeah.
it's their money, and they know how to run their business so they wouldn't be in business.
Right.
But I'm still hoping that we would see more of a more entertainment. There's a lot of great singers out there.
Sure there are.
And then, there's a lot of great places that should be having it, but they're holding back, I believe. In my book, which hasn't been published yet,
You're working on a
I'm
book.
working on a book. It's about music. I've written some. I've written a screenplay. I've written a couple of short stories. I've written 6 political essays, which I don't. I don't write politics anymore. It's no more fun.
When in doubt,
When in doubt,
stay
right.
out.
But in the book,
Yeah.
I draw a line between the 15th and 16th centuries of the Renaissance.
Yeah.
During that time, the literary arts and the visual arts came to the prominence, the greatest of all time. The paints they used and the artists at the time.
Correct.
And towards the cusp of the Renaissance and the Baroque period, which followed, came a rock and roller named Mozart, Amadeus Mozart.
Yes.
And he kind of changed music. And that cusp between the time that he was alive till the time that when Beethoven was his protege during the classical period,
Correct.
was a big change in music.
Right.
And I draw that parallel between that period and starting with 1854 here in America, Stephen Foster, the, quote, father of popular music, all the way up and including the 1970s, particularly 1978, and I include the Bee Gees in the American markets because they've sold a lot of records here.
Absolutely.
So during that time, we had enormous talent, changes, icons that were coming along since back when Jenny Lind and Sophie Tucker and Jimmy Durante and
Yeah.
my friend Sonny King.
Yeah.
I miss Sonny very much. And all those guys, all the way up to the Rudy Valleys, the Russ Columbos, the Bing Crosbys, the Frank Sinatra's, Elvis, and so on.
Sure.
And that is our American Renaissance,
That's right.
1854 to around 1978.
That's right.
And what has followed, you still have talent and genius in every era.
Yeah.
With this era, I call it the modern day Baroque period because mediocrity seems to reach the top. Now, there's unquestionably great talent out there, and they've proven it over and over again with the Grammy Awards and so on.
Yeah.
But to sustain a musical period, a musical era,
Right.
like they did in the past, with the Great American Songbook, like
That's
Tony
right.
Bennett used to say. It's been quite a challenge for these people today to do that. It's like a come and go kind of fame,
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that if they were to bring marquee power back, that music would start to change again. Someone would come up with something not only innovative, but sustaining in a way that we can open up a whole new market.
That's right.
Now, I used to, in the book, I even say this, I used to tell my friends, music is basically mathematics, and we haven't got anything new because they might have just run out of numbers, I don't know, but be as it may,
Yeah.
we're still hoping for a new market to come out to cover new openings for new musicians and new singers.
Sure.
We all
Yeah.
can draw from the past.
Sure we
We
can.
all do, and it's all very popular still. I don't care. Every type of music, every genre takes its place on the spectrum of popularity for a short time, and then it goes away. Someone brings it back. You had Chicago bring back the Charleston and the all that jazz kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's
And
true.
for that was the Charleston was popular for a while.
Yes.
Now you have shuffle dancing and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I watch a lot of videos on YouTube
Yeah.
that show these modern day numbers, like from Dirty Dancing or something, with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers
Yeah.
dancing to them, you
Yeah.
know? So it's the same beat, you know, so
Yeah.
they get along
Yeah.
with it.
And
But-
then you look at the mashups, you know, from old and new.
Right,
and all
exactly.
That. I mean,
It's a lot
quite
of fun to
amazing,
watch,
isn't it?
yeah. And it tells me that even today here in Las Vegas, this is a beautiful place. You know,
It is.
we
We all
have
love Las Vegas,
oh,
don't we?
I love Las Vegas. I love
Yeah.
Las Vegas not because of the glitter from the Strip. You know, most locals don't even go down by the Strip because of the parking and all that.
Sure.
But we have so much good talent out here. We have an absolute wonderful police force.
Yeah.
Our fire department, all these things are
Yeah.
positives of
Yeah.
Las Vegas. We have a traffic problem, of course,
Yeah.
you know. But, you know, to overlook something like that, there's still a lot of good people to go see in their various places.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorite singers out there are like my great friend Monique,
oh, yeah.
who I adore
well,
her.
she's at the composer's room, isn't she?
She's at the composer's room most of the time, I think, but
Yeah.
she'll be doing some other things too.
Yeah.
Kelly Vaughn,
I've
you know.
had Kelly on the show.
Yeah,
I've had
and
Monique.
years ago I adored Denise Clemente. I don't know
Oh,
if you remember
yeah.
Denise.
I love Denise.
Oh, she was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I believe Dennis Bono still has his radio show or something that
Yes.
he introduced. I've never been on the show, but he's
Yeah.
introduced quite a few of those people on his
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. He
And-
believes in the Great American Songbook.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know. And there's so many. I had when I was working at the Regent Hotel, it was called at the time, which now is called the JW Marriott Rampart Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have like young kids come into the cigar bar there,
Yeah.
and I had one guy ask, "Can you play French Foreign Legion or At Last?" And I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "You're what are you, 22 years old? You're asking for something Sinatra did 40 years ago?" I'll be glad to play it for you, and I'll be glad to do the.
It really made you smile, didn't
Right,
it? Like,
exactly.
yes.
Do the Glenn Miller version
Yeah.
of At Last, you know,
Yes.
the way he did it in 1938, you know.
Yeah.
But
But it's so
It's-
much fun to, go back to that, isn't
what's
it?
most fun about it is introducing it to
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's
taking
when it makes
someplace-
you smile.
Yeah, taking someone to some place where they haven't been, you
Yeah,
know. That to me, I
absolutely.
get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
I recall, too, some of the good moments I've had here. I was working in Lake Las Vegas for 3 years, and
Yeah.
we had a 90th birthday. In a table in the back, there was a tent top, and
Yeah.
the guest of honor came walking up to me, and her, I'm in the corner there in my music, and I thought she was going to say, "Yeah, you're too loud," or something like that. She's got a nice brown in her face, you know. and
Yeah.
then, she got right up to me, and she all of a sudden turned to a smile, you know.
Yeah.
And she said, my husband's gone, but we used to, when we got back together, we used to have this one song that I wonder if you know it. Nobody ever does it anymore. And can you name it? It's called "Where Is Your Heart?" And I said, well, that's the theme song from the original Moulin Rouge, you know.
Yeah,
And I says, I'd be glad to do it for you.
yeah.
And it was big smiles. And
Yeah.
when I could do something like that, it
But
really...
see, that's what makes you feel good, doesn't it,
Oh,
Teddy?
it makes me
When-
feel
when-
wonderful.
Yeah.
It really does. You
Yeah.
know, I
Brings back the
enjoy
memories.
people anyway because I always look for the positives anyway,
Yeah,
regardless.
absolutely.
But when I do things that make people smile,
Of course,
it
yeah.
makes my whole year,
Yeah.
not just a day.
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
But
Yeah.
my path right now is to get better. The Veterans Administration people, they're wonderful people actually out there, folks. But
Yeah.
remember, the VA, they're good people, but the VA system is very slow. So we have to wait our turn, and I'm very grateful for what they do for me. I know I spent my time, but I'm not one of these guys that demand this and demand that. I'm very grateful.
Yes.
But once these surgeries of the back, the neck, and all that, the shoulder, are done, I plan to go back, and maybe by January, February, I'll be dancing in the streets again.
There you go.
I'm praying for it.
And then I'll have you back on.
Oh, I hope so.
But you know what? It's nice catching up, isn't it?
It is, Suzy. It's good to see
yeah,
you, really.
it's
Very
good to
seeing
see you too.
I enjoy going to a lot of places. I still have my cane, and I try to use my cane more than my walker and all that.
Sure.
But when I get out there, and when I get settled down, I love the entertainment.
Yeah.
Because I like live music. I love singers, all
Yeah.
singers. I always thought that a singer has, whatever he has to offer or she has to offer, his own persona.
That's
You know,
right.
he might be a clone, he might be a Sinatra artist or a Cher or something,
Right.
but they still have their own personal
Of course
touch
they
to
do.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. And there's a lot of good people out there.
Oh,
There really are.
absolutely. You know, we're blessed in Las Vegas, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes,
With
we
how
are.
many people
But
that-
I have to say one thing though, a lot to the young people, that a lot of times, one, if you're from Peoria, Illinois, or Schenectady, New York, or something,
Yeah.
if you make it there, if you do something significant there, then Las Vegas embraces you as far as work is concerned.
Right.
But if you try to come here and make a name, especially when you're just doing cover tunes
No.
and nothing original, then it's going to be very difficult. Not
Right.
to say it's impossible,
Right.
but I've never had any management. You know, a couple of months ago, Las Vegas lost a great singer, and I lost a great friend.
Yeah.
His name was Michael Monge.
Oh, yeah, I
You know,
know.
and
I miss him
I
every
miss
day.
Michael very much, and
He was a wonderful man.
he should have been one of these household name guys.
Yes,
you know,
for sure.
he was a great talent.
Well, Steve
We
Wynn
had a deep
brought him
respect for
here.
one another.
Yeah.
Steve Wynn,
Yeah.
I saw him somewhere. I forgot
In
it was.
Florida.
In Florida,
And
yeah.
he brought him here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good timing, huh?
Oh, my God, yes.
But I really
Just
like Michael.
amazing, yeah. I
The
felt so bad.
The last song I was going to do at the Fiore luncheon was a tribute to him
Yeah.
and to all the other singers, the wonderful singers that have made it and reached that top drawer, you know.
Yes.
But have over the years kind of their careers kind of waned a little bit, and
Yes.
the time went by and they're no longer. So
Right.
a song by Udo Jürgens, the Austrian composer and singer.
Uh-huh.
With the English lyric written by Don Black,
Uh-huh.
wrote a tune that in 1979 Matt Monroe recorded. It's called "If I Never Sing Another Song."
Can you sing a little bit of it?
Well,
Just even like one bar of it?
okay.
Okay.
In my heyday, young girls wrote to me. Everybody seemed to have time to devote to me. Everyone I saw all swore they knew me. Once upon a song, main attraction, couldn't buy a seat. The celebrities were dying to meet. I've had every accolade bestowed on me, and so you see, if I never sing another song, and so on and so on.
That was beautiful.
But that's the kind of song that I always introduce
Yeah.
when I introduce myself when I
Well,
first
yeah.
on stage. I say, you know, back in the day when I was a main household name,
Yeah.
and then a pause, and I said, who's this fellow? You know, I say, at least at my house. You know?
You know what, Teddy? It was fun catching up with you.
Very much so.
honestly.
Thank you very much,
Yeah, and
Suzy.
I hope to have you back after you
I'll be
get
glad
your
to come back.
operations. And
yeah,
you
once
can
I'm
be
big,
dancing
especially
in
if
the
I'm
street.
active again, you know,
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
to come back. Sure, it'd be
You know,
great.
if you liked our shows and, you know, you want to see more and you want to hear more about the entertainers, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
She's the
We'd-
lady.
We'd love to have you tell us what more you want. And I am just tickled to death to have Teddy on the show today, and it was really fun catching up. So come back again, will you please?
I will. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, that's our show for today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.